Following the militant group Hamas's attack on Israel last October, numerous student groups at the University of Miami hosted events to support one another as the conflict progressed.
We've simply been giving our students and the Jewish students and allies a place to mourn what has happened after October 7th and a place to, feel like they're seen.
Jewish, Palestinian, and allied students hosted events from demonstrations to community gatherings. But new regulations from the Dean of Students threatens to limit these events. In an official email, the office referenced a task force they created in 2018 and, quote, a similar task force constituted in 2024 to review our policies and ensure that various community partners contributed to the updates to ensure thoroughness. The rules were announced by the Committee of Student Organizations, better known as COSO, at their annual student leader training. These changes prevent the use of face coverings and other disguises, do not allow encampments to be set up, and limit the size of flags and signs. Some students see these regulations as a form of student protection, especially after the campus protests across the nation that made headlines last spring.
Having these policies in place guards against anyone in any particular faith, religion, background, culture.
But others see it as an attempt by the school to limit student rights. The Canes for Palestine group formed last year, and while they received approval from COSO to become an official campus organization, they say the Dean of Students' office intervened.
I would just like to remain anonymous just out of concern for my safety and just like in case of any kind of retaliation from the university. We did initially face a lot of bureaucratic barriers in trying to organize events. The administration ended up interjecting into that process and they vetoed our approval after unjustly interrogating me and our entire board. These policies make it harder for students to be activists.
However, an email from the Office of the Dean of Students clarified that they are, quote, not involved in student organization approval process and that Canes for Palestine was asked to resubmit their application. But the group thinks these protest regulations are not fair.
I think that students should have the right to be able to organize events even if they're not part of a student organization, because what do you do if there is no group on campus that represents you? You're essentially silenced.
For UMTV, I'm Amanda Mohamad.